you're in the shockwave zone of a Barrett 50 cal, you know it.
From the bottom, they tore it down, I rebuilt it. I give myself a task, you can bet your ass I fulfill it. Yeah, man, I'm talking about realest, one of the realest to try.
It's baby shampoo.
It might be true, but I haven't fucked with baby shampoo in probably.
There's a yellow and a pink bottle.
The better question is, how does he know what baby shampoo tastes like?
I just bought some baby body wash the other day.
For what?
Because I washed my body with grown-up stuff, and then I put a little baby scent on it.
Shut the fuck up. What is wrong with you?
What are you trying to do? Attract nursing women? Is that what's going on here?
I mean, if I could get Hannah used to the scent of
babies, maybe you'll get a baby.
Maybe. All right. I like where you're going with that.
If you get it and you don't want it, I'll take the baby.
That's what I told her. I said I've already got somebody that'll take it.
Yeah, I'll keep your baby.
Yeah.
I'll take the baby. We'll call him John Brandel.
Healthy looking baby. It'll be okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Okay.
Good. You sure? I mean, you eat a lot of corn dogs.
Genetics, yeah.
You eat a lot of corn dogs.
Can I have the baby shampoo?
Yeah, you can have the baby shampoo.
Thank you.
I do eat a lot of corn dogs.
Yeah, you eat a lot of corn dogs. And a lot of things that are on a rotisserie wheel that spins all day.
You know, Red Bull has nothing about energy drinks in any of their advertising.
It gives you wings.
Yeah, it gives you wings.
There you go.
Is that energy?
Energy.
Red Bull's the first, wasn't they?
I think so. First well known.
No Fear?
No Fear, but Red Bull was around before No Fear.
Are you sure?
It was Son of a Beach. That was Johnny Johnson, motocross dude. And then that Life's a Beach became No Fear. And then No Fear branded energy drinks. And then Deegan was running No Fear gear, and they branded his own energy drink. Yeah. And that's when I remember going in there, and they're like, we should do an SOE energy drink. And I'm like, that's cool, but I don't know if I could sell
I did
thousands.
Hey, have you ever seen...
had that in it.
So, energy drink, like Red Bull is famous for going to military bases whenever they're doing like a concert or they're doing some military thing, like...
The girl with the backpack or the little mini car?
And with the mini car. And they always give away as much Red Bull as possible. Have you ever seen in the real world a Rip It?
No, they're not. I thought Rip Its are only on military bases.
No, I've seen those.
You've seen them in the real world? I have never seen a Rip It in the real world.
So for a long time,
the military gets...
For a long time, all those dudes would come back from deployment talking about Rip Its. You could not buy Rip Its out in the civilian world. They were only on deployed military installations.
I wonder what
isn't it supposed to be like 3 times? I thought people were like getting fucked up off Rip It.
I'm sure. I've never tried them. I've just seen it.
What can you look up Rip It? Who
owns
manufactures it? Because that seems weird that
Brown and Root.
Maybe.
I'm telling you.
Maybe it's
probably that Black Rock.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Well, Rip It's been around before Black Rock.
Well, it just wasn't called Black Rock then.
Who makes Rip It energy drinks? National Beverage Company.
What other drinks do they make?
They also make Shasta, Faygo, and LaCroix.
Faygo? Isn't that your boys? Yeah.
Shasta.
The boys.
So the military's getting the cheapest energy drink possible.
Yeah.
And they were always little cans. They were never like a real can.
If I was going to do an energy drink, I would have Redcon 1 build it for us. Just because I know some people that know him pretty well, and last I heard, did they put that big huge company? They bought that 125,000 square foot building in Nashville, right? Yeah. That's what they bought that for.
Mm-hmm.
How about
there's the little ones.
Yeah, that's what you get overseas. It's those little motherfuckers. And they only had one flavor.
Yeah.
I don't know why they got all.
It was
colors.
An energy drink with original Jack 3D in it, with some ephedrine.
Really?
I don't know, but that's what I would want. I
was thinking you just secret ingredient. Your first, 100,000 cans or whatever, your first million cans has cocaine in it.
I think that's what happens, right? All those supplements come out, they work really well,
and they test them,
and then they take whatever was working and they're out of there. That's exactly what happens.
Like one person actually gets hospitalized, and they're like, "Well, what was he on? Well, it looks like he overdosed on meth." Well, all he did was drink Rip Its.
Yeah, but it never is. There was probably meth in that diet there somewhere.
Yeah.
What episode are we on?
98.
Pulling the Thread podcast, episode 98. Are we putting the
120.
VIP out? Is that going to count as one of the numbers?
No.
Not really, no.
No. Just
That was
come out
lame.
to the public anyway.
It was lame.
It was lame.
I
It was
thought
fun, man.
Yeah, people didn't ask enough questions. Everybody was just kind of like,
They didn't ask many questions, but I like the conversation going.
I think I said this before, and it would kind of suck because it was a little cold, but we probably should have done that in a more open venue.
like under the tent.
Yeah, like either under the tent or in the greenhouse, just so because people wanted to come in, and
Well,
probably would have worked a little better.
it was VIP. It was only for people that bought the VIP prize
Next time we
package.
should just have a PA and
Yeah.
just have them.
We could
Yeah,
bulk
that
it
would
up.
work too. Yeah,
It's gonna be warmer, and I
We
had
better have better VIPs next time.
dozens of people that asked if we're going to do an event during the summer, because like right here we're between Christmas, Thanksgiving. It's fucking cold, but everybody's asking if we're going to do a summer one. So
I'd rather be
July 22nd.
is it? It's not July 22nd, is it? What's the 22nd? Why do you say that?
It's my birthday.
Your birthday's July?
Yeah.
We're doing it. It's in June sometime.
Oh, okay. Well,
Well, I
June
mean, it's still-
22nd.
We can't do it July because Kiri and them, they have something else they're
Oh,
doing.
gotcha.
They run a really big Burning Man event out somewhere.
Nice. In the summertime?
Yes.
Jesus.
Not out
those
in
poor
Vegas.
bastards.
They do their own kind of like thing.
Oh,
All right, I guess we'll do
We
this.
made in the motherfucking USA. Train to survive, stay alive, watching you get played. This ain't a game, boy. Ready for the end of days. The merch pack of master patches, packs for 2-3Ks. And it's made in the motherfucking USA.
Pull and Thread Podcast episode 98. Is it 98?
98.
Have you seen the... First of all, what's your take? What do you know about the CEO shooter?
I mean, it's exactly what I.
What?
One, before we get into that,
Oh, goodness.
what gun was he using?
I'll tell you. I know.
What do you mean? Why you all.
Because I haven't seen that yet.
Well, according to law enforcement, it was a 3D printed gun.
Simple CAD is what he said.
Yeah, 3D printed. So that's probably why. I mean, so that if he was using a 3D printed gun, then he probably 3D printed his suppressor, and that is why none of that shit really worked.
I thought the pictures showed like an orange oil filter was the suppressor.
No, it's long.
Was it?
Yeah. So, yeah, but so 9mm, probably guaranteed is probably a Glock Style, because most of the ghost guns that are out there, most of those kits are Glock Style.
Is it because Glock's made out of plastic?
That's exactly right, because the Glocks are made out of plastic, my friend.
Even the barrel. That's what they were going around. Like when Glocks first came out, they were saying it's an assassin gun. It was Teflon coated. It was all plastic. And the barrel was ceramic, so you couldn't see it on metal detector. That's what they were saying. You could use special bullets.
The only reason why you Teflon coat your gun is so when you throw it out your car window, it
Doesn't
doesn't
spark.
spark when it goes across the street. That way the cops can't see it when you chuck it out.
Did you see old boy? Like he was, our friend out there, he was shooting the belt fed, and he started to turn, and Bob grabbed the gun, looked at me like, what the fuck? I go, Bob, he's only shot guns out of cars before. And he's like, oh, okay. And he has the Barrett, and he turns it sideways, and Bob's going to like sideways shoot the Barrett. And Bob doesn't have Ear Pro on, so I'm not worried about it. I don't have no fucking Ear Pro on. And and he tapped that motherfucker off. I was standing right. Dude, my ears went, ee, but my eyes like swelled shut. I'm like, we're standing up, not laying prone, standing up. And it's still that muzzle brake kicked out so much dust. I had shit all in my eyes.
Yeah, if you're in the shockwave zone of a Barrett 50 cal, you know it.
Yeah, you want like a mat or something. It would have blown the mats apart though.
Yeah.
But I mean, it made for good video, though.
It did. Amanda laying there prone shooting that thing. Yeah, that was super cool. Everybody had a good time. So
outside of that, no.
It was first said that he had a B&T, I guess, make something, and it's a takeoff of like a World War I, World War II pistol that was bolt action, and then all the theories were, well, it was bolt action, so there's no gas release, and that's why it's like so quiet, and that's why he had to keep working the slide because it was. And then they come to find out that wasn't that at all. They have actually apprehended him, or maybe him, at a McDonald's.
It's interesting you say that they apprehended. So when they arrested him, the police said He had the gun on him, the silencer on him, and his manifesto.
Yes.
He had all that on him. I saw an interview this morning, his attorney. And his attorney's like, I ain't seen none of that shit.
Yeah.
They don't have any evidence against him.
So there's
So
some footage prior to all of this where the first contact, he's already gone before a judge or magistrate, right, for bail. And they're trying to make it, I can't remember what they call it, sophisticated criminal, something like that, right? And they're saying because he has cash, he is a flight risk because he had $80,000 in cash. He was planning to flee to Canada, they said. And then they also said, well, he's sophisticated. He has a EMP bag. He has a Faraday bag. And they went through all this shit, and the only thing the kid said was, he said, I think he actually said, can I speak? And they go, what do you have to say? And he said, that's a waterproof bag, and that's not my cash. I've never seen it. You guys, somebody planted the cash. I did not have the cash. The cash was not on me. That's what he took issue with, was the money. He didn't say, I didn't smoke that motherfucker. He didn't say that's not my gun. He didn't say none of that shit. All he said was, and then as far as the manifesto thing, there was he had scrawled out a note that said, if you have the spiral bound notebook will enlighten you on some things and some other stuff. And the attorney said, we ain't seen it. We don't have that. That wasn't there. He also said, my client is not guilty.
But it's the reality is, when we think about, if we go back to last week when it happened, it's exactly what I said it would be.
What?
Somebody that was disgruntled about some health care that was pulled. And
yes.
His mother lost her insurance.
It is his mother. Okay, yeah. I didn't know that. So there's 4 pictures, apparently. His whole Twitter account has been wiped. There are only 4 pictures remaining. I believe that's I had heard. And there's one of the pictures is a Pokemon. One of the pictures is an X-ray of a spine with a bunch of screws and hardware in it. And I can't remember what the other. One of the pictures is him with his shirt off, out backpacking somewhere, in really good shape, 6-pack. And I don't remember what the other one was. Now, Tim Pool reported, he was talking. I think it's a clip I saw this morning from last night's live. He said that Pokemon is the number 280th Pokemon found, is what it basically means. It is said that he was found 280 miles away from the murder scene. The McDonald's is 280 miles. The Pokemon is the 280th Pokemon ever found when it came into existence in the packs or whatever. And then there was something else about 280 in there. Like Tim Pool noted like 5 or 6 things that fit into this 280 scheme that people were talking about, whatever that is. The kid graduated valedictorian from his high school. It cost $40,000 in tuition to send him to the school. His family is very, very wealthy, made all of their money in medical and pharmaceuticals. His cousin is currently in the Senate. One of his cousins is a representative. And it just goes on and on and on, the whole list. So, I don't know, a lot of people screaming MK Ultra. A lot of people are like, well, in the firearm stuff, he hit all the points they want to ban, so you're going to see they're going to go after ghost guns, they're going to go after 3D printers. Like, I saw Congress a year or two ago talking about, we just need to ban all these 3D printers. That cat's out of the bag. Like,
it's too late.
That shit's out there.
It's too late. So, and even the programs. The program's already out there.
Yeah, so I mean, they're not only that, they're all over. What's that shitty video game all those kids play? Minecraft.
Yeah.
They have this Minecraft program, apparently. Somebody is supposed to have reloaded up. They call it the Library of Alexandria. And there's just all this shit embedded in Minecraft where you have all these files and all these books and all these publications and everything.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I would assume there's a ton of places like that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, but I'm going to just assume that you have you ticked all the boxes. You have a exclusive high school, which means they were learning probably exclusive stuff. I'll bet money.
Yeah, STEM programs.
Yeah, but I'll bet money they were using those things they were using those printers in his high school, right? His family could afford to buy him said printer, right? So it's going to be this thing where it's just going to be a path that follows straight through all that, because again, if you think about it, if you're in a high school and they have those 3D printers and it's a bunch of kids, yeah, I guarantee you everybody in that class knew the
Well, everybody has
program.
Everyone has a 3D printer at this point.
I know,
almost.
but what I'm saying is
10 years ago, Dremel had a 3D printer that was on the end cap at Walmart, and you could buy them at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Walmart. And now, I mean, we know people that 3D print shit, but like Christian Green was coming in here with all kinds of cool things. And then we met Drac. I mean, Drac makes fucking insane things 3D printed.
I'm just saying it kind of ticks all the boxes, and that the path that he went on, I could see a young man with all those things going on that path.
Jack Spirko has interviewed 3D print guys several times, and there's tons of different forums that you go on. But if I need something made, like if I break one of these stars and I'm like, man, I need this post, it's this long, I need the star right here. Guys, if it's not there already, you just put up what you need, your request, and 10, 15 people will crawl out of it, and then you just pay them whatever. And it's like we're using Fiverr. It's like $5, $10, $30 for a program. But there's so much stuff on these. Like I know a bunch of dudes that have bought 3D printers and they're like, I'm going to do this thing. I even thought about it. I'm like, that would be handy to have, just to 3D print PVC parts on the weekend when I need something in a hurry for the aquaponic system or for the farm stuff, or just brackets to hold extension cords up, out of the way. Like everything's there. And there's dudes like Pack Out. I really like the Pack Out stuff because the cool red, trays and stuff. Now I have a bunch and I'm like, man, this shit's really heavy. I can take all of this stuff and put it back in this tool bag right here in this little package. But there's guys running entire businesses, 3D print businesses, on organizing the 3D packouts. You buy your driver and your ratchet set and your extension, and dudes will print for the box that you want to use. You tell them what you want, and it's already turnkey. Like I literally went and bought tool sets because I could get the box and the 3D printed piece to organize them very neatly. And it's like the Napalk foam. You see guys, I've seen dudes at Blade Show with them handcuffed to their hands, They have the little Pelican box.
Oh, yeah.
And when they open it up, all the knives are in there.
Yeah.
It's like that. They make all that shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking neat. But it'd just be another damn thing sitting in the garage. I'm like, wonder where this is. And I'll never use it.
Or it's not that you'll never use it, because it's not that you never use it. It's that when the realization of using it pops in your head, when you're like, oh shit, we can make it. It's going to take 4 days to get it operational.
22 hours later, I've got this bracket for this thing.
This bracket.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the issue.
I think too, people see, I follow some different pack out channels and stuff. And the pack out stuff's only so cool because of the 3D organization that's there. They make latches that say first aid or, whatever. You can brand everything. It's like a Lego. But that's a finite amount of money right there. Some young person picks that course because it's easy. They can do it in mom's garage. That's a finite amount of money though. You can't make millions doing that. You can make thousands doing that. And you got to set it up. And I was watching a girl talking about, we come into they call them print farms, right? So if we were going to set this building up as a print farm, we could probably put 70 printers, maybe more. Let's say we put 70 printers in here. She's like, we first come in the morning and we look for the ones that have crashed, and then we restart these immediately. We looked at the ones that have crashed. Can we salvage this, or do we need to start over? But it's about keeping the machines just running and running and running. But you're relying on this thing that makes this part, and it does. It takes 2 days, 3 days, 20 hours, whatever it is, to run these things, and this part sells for $50.
Right.
Like the tray thing that goes in here. For the sockets, it's 2 trays that fit side by side. I don't know what they take, but if they take, that's a finite amount of money for electricity, keeping the machine running, keeping the filament loaded. It's neat to have, but it's a job.
Right.
Yeah, it's a job, man.
Only because you mentioned Pokemon.
Yes.
You know Pokemon Go, right? Where Brandel on the weekend is walking around,
falling off of bridges and shit.
Yeah, looking for Pokemons.
Walking off docks.
With my fedora.
Do you know that Pokemon Go is the biggest...
FBI?
No, it's the biggest scam. It's a mapping software.
Mm-hmm. And they
Right.
used you to map?
Yeah, they used you to map. And so, and the crazy part is not only did they use you to map, but there was things that you could buy to make it easier. So you were paying to work for somebody else. That's all they were doing was
That's
a
how
mapping
all
program.
the Facebook programs were, right? See what you're going to look like in 10 years.
Yeah.
See what you're going to look like in 20 years. And everybody's like, oh, here's a perfect picture. Yeah, give me some more pictures of yourself. Yeah, it's
Interesting.
all government shit.
Yep.
So what do you think is going to happen with the shooter kid?
Oh, he's going to go to jail.
I suspect they're going to put him in custody, and he's going to be murdered in custody before he can talk.
Why?
There's some connection with Nancy Pelosi. Have you heard that?
Well,
The CEO was supposed to be testifying somehow against Congress or something.
I've heard that, but even if it was an op, right? Let's just say it was an op. The shooter wouldn't know that.
Correct.
He wouldn't have any of that information. But I it's, my opinion is the connection, maybe, but he was killing that dude because
When the CEO
of what
first
happened with the bomb.
when the CEO first got shot, there was a lot of people like, yeah, the puppet masters are getting their strings cut. Like, good for them. And then all of a sudden it kind of flipped. Like there was a huge flip where, oh my God, you can't take another human being's life. And everybody was kind of like, it switched. And I just thought it was kind of odd. Like, imagine if that was Bill Gates. If Bill Gates had been fucking, yeah,
Victory.
or any
For the
of
world.
yeah, or Bezos or fucking like any of them dudes. It's just kind of, they turned the public opinion around very quickly.
I don't think the stuff I see, I don't think they have.
What are you seeing?
I'm seeing all kinds of like shit on the way in here. These guys on the way in here, I was just looking at TikTok, and there was a ad for deny, depose, whatever the three things, a sweatshirt, and the sweatshirt looked pretty cool. I was like, damn, I might have to get me one of those. I'm seeing where it's still
People making money on it.
well, the stuff I'm seeing is people are still swayed to his death as being a good thing. Like there's already a bunch of stuff out talking shit about this McDonald's employee.
Yes.
The
The McDonald's employee called 911, so they're not going to give him the $60,000 reward because he didn't call Crime Stoppers.
Hey guys, here's a truth that most people don't understand. They rarely ever give out rewards. There's always a catch to why they don't ever give out rewards. So when you think you're going to be getting that paycheck, you're not getting it. It's all bullshit.
Here's another one too. If you have wants and warrants, and you're the dude, they're going to arrest your ass too.
Yeah, I mean, but it's rarely. You're not going to find any.
Do you remember when
any
they
incidences where they're giving that money away?
the Qualcomm Stadium? I don't know what it's called now. The stadium in San Diego was originally the Jack Murphy Stadium.
Jack Murphy.
And they would put out on all the radios, free Padres tickets, just come pick them up. And they would come through, or they would mail them to people's houses, free Padres tickets, come pick them up on this day. And they'd bring you in to give you your tickets, you'd stand in line, and they'd bring you through where other people couldn't see, and they're just putting them right in fucking vans and taking them to jail. They were all the fucking wants and warrants. Or they give away free TVs. So they get all these dudes to come down there on child support violation and shit and arrest fucking every one of them. They'd arrest hundreds of people at a time doing that.
Crazy.
And now everybody's like photoshopping him in
Oh, yeah.
pictures, you know?
With themselves.
Yeah,
That's what
and being like, oh, thanks my friend Luigi for helping us load in our band equipment at 6:01 blah 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 on the day that he did
Yeah,
it.
the one I saw this morning was thank you for leading our prayer group. It just goes down the timeline about how he was at our prayer group. He
So
couldn't have been
2 days after the hit, I saw another healthcare CEO was shot in their apartment.
Yeah, somebody I know that
I saw that, and then it fucking went away. And I've mentioned it, and nobody has fucking seen it. Nobody can find it.
I saw it mentioned on the news that another CEO had been killed. Mm-hmm. Didn't say I don't think they said he was shot, but another CEO had been killed, and then crickets.
Yep.
Why would they do that? Do you know why they do that?
So that there's not a third and a fourth, because they're not looking for copycats, because people are going to be like, yeah, this is not a bad idea.
Yep. That's why the crickets.
Would you not be afraid if you were the McDonald's employee now, knowing how many people are standing behind him?
Well, we have a shirt coming out that says "Snitches get stitches," and it's
I saw.
McDonald's emblem.
There's a picture of on my Facebook came up. It's a picture of like a scantily clad Wendy.
Oh, that's
right?
cool.
It's like a scantily clad Wendy doing this, and it's like Wendy doesn't snitch.
Yeah, and then Burger King actually tweeted a thing that says the crown doesn't snitch or something.
That's fucking pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Did you see the T-shirt art I sent you? Did you see it? I sent it to you. It's the big arches, little combat cock says "Snitches get stitches." Maybe we should add in the pose thing. Did he print? Did he in laser engrave a different? Well, they said it was written on in Sharpie. Yeah. I thought each word on 3 different shells. Is that why he had to put 3 shells down?
Okay. We can try it. Maybe I'll
yeah,
try
wouldn't the ink come off of there?
We can try it. I don't believe that you could Sharpie. First off,
we can try it.
You definitely can't in an HK.
First off, Sharpie. I mean, think about a 9mm casing. Just he must have
I thought he
excellent. He must have if it was a Sharpie, he would have to have excellent penmanship.
You thought he what?
I thought he carved it in each one of them.
So I keep seeing that, but I don't know that I don't think it's the original crime scene casings. Right. But I assumed he lasered it.
I also would think that
if he's got a 3D printer, he's probably got a laser.
That it would that Sharpie would stay on. Maybe okay. Well, he was manually ejecting them, so maybe. I don't know. It's interesting, and I would think that you wouldn't be able to read them the way they read them. So
you got a pistol with you?
Of course.
Semi-auto?
Is there any other kind?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm surprised that you only have a wheel gun with you.
Well, sometimes you have to have a wheel gun.
I like to keep my rod and all my powders in a separate satchel.
That's right.
I mean,
so
we can try it.
Yeah, we're gonna try it.
So,
okay.
I take it this guy's not going to be he's not going to be the underdog.
What do you mean?
He's not going to be like another killdozer.
No, he's not. He's not going to be the underdog. It's just going to be really mad about his mom.
The Alaska Avenger. What do you got there? 9.
Mm-hmm. My question would be, it's deny, depose, and something else.
Defend.
Deny.
No, it's not defend. But
it's deny, defend, depose.
I mean, that's such a small area to write on. But if you were
deny, defend, depose.
But if you were engraving it, you could engrave the
pictures I keep seeing are just brass, and they do look engraved.
So, I don't know.
We're going to try both.
What's up with the fancy ammo there? What you got?
Yeah, you killing a werewolf?
9mm. You never know. You prepare for whatever is possible, and then you.
Is Dogman a werewolf?
Oh, for sure.
Same thing.
Dogman's a werewolf.
Yeah.
So silver bullets would kill Dogman.
For sure.
I mean bullets in general.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I think he'll be. I mean, he's going to jail.
You hear the Alaskan? You know the Alaskan Avenger?
You see your boy?
Who's my boy?
Oh, fucking headlock, Semper Fi Marine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the street.
Shouldn't have ever been in custody.
On the street.
After that, should not have been locked up like he was.
He's already on a bunch of news stations.
Did you see
on the streets?
Old boy's cousin or old boy's father was out there boo-hooing. And I get it. Okay, his son died, but he doesn't look like he really raised him.
This is an attempt to get money. That's what they.
And then you got BLM out there screaming that this was racism and we need to have an uprising. And
meanwhile,
by uprising I mean violence.
The funny thing is, meanwhile, the same exact scenario happened in New York City, except the young black man stabbed the other one to death, and they didn't file any charges on him, and they let him go immediately.
Wild.
Yeah. So. I don't want to hear it. It's all bullshit.
I don't think they're going to be able to ignite the fire like they did the last few years.
No.
I think people are done with
it's over.
Yeah.
Because here's the difference. The difference is they had a mandate, right? The Democrats had a mandate. They needed all those shenanigans to happen because Trump was president. Right? They needed all that to happen. They don't have the ability to do that anymore.
You think they're just on hold right now until Trump becomes president?
No. This is a different.
So you think you're going to see some fucking peace and prosperity for the next 4 years
Oh, you might see some,
in the United States?
maybe.
It's looking that way.
Well, the problem is there are so many. We are, as a country, right? If you think about it, as a country, we have been speeding as fast as we can towards these abyss. A lot of them, different types, but all these different abyss, and we keep going faster and faster towards these abyss. Just because Trump is president doesn't mean we're not going to fall off one of those abyss.
So what's going on in Syria?
Nothing. I mean, Syria was going to fall anyways. It's going to be. Thank you, Obama. It's going to be another failed state in the Middle East that they'll probably be doing slave trade against.
Syria have a port? Are
Yes.
they on the ocean?
Yeah, they do.
And
have
Russia
a port.
had to pull out
Yes.
and retreat.
Yes. Well, I don't know if Russia. I mean, I don't know if that part's true. But
And where's
Yeah.
Turkey in all this? I say that because isn't Turkey supposed to be a NATO?
yeah, Turkey is a NATO country. Well, they're on the problem is you. The problem is you have. Here's the thing that people don't seem to understand, is you have militias funded by the Department of Defense fighting militias funded by
The
the
Department.
CIA. Right? It's that classic crazy ass biker gang fight in the bar where once
they're all federal agents.
once it all airs out, they're all federal agents. They're either ATF and FBI. So yeah, it's going to be a shit show. It's going to be a failed state. That is for sure. It's not going to be. Not only is it going to be a failed state, but as a country, eventually we are going to have to go and clean those places up. Meaning Libya, Syria, maybe back into Iraq because
What
of the way
does that mean, clean them up? What's that look like?
20 years of boots on the ground. It's just the way it's going to be because they don't have the capability to govern. They just don't.
Couldn't we just colonize it?
No, who wants to live in Syria? Yuck.
Well, we don't give them a choice.
Look, I mean, maybe if we take all the Democrats and move them to Syria, but
Let's just take all those people that won't work and fucking move them to Syria.
I mean, it's about the same thing.
I mean, yeah, it'd be like what's there now.
Yeah, it's like what's there now.
It'd
So
fit right in.
yeah, that's going to be the issue. And you can almost say that the CIA is doing this on purpose, because what it does is when you think about like Libya, we'll go to Libya first. Libya is a failed state. No one can say that Libya is better off today than they were under Muammar Gaddafi, right? Under Muammar Gaddafi, they were much better off than they are today. No matter what. Muammar wasn't in the slave trade.
What was, good morning, Mr. Gaddafi, this is your wake-up call when we sent the bombing runs and shit. Why did we bomb him back then? I was in the 5th grade when that happened.
That was that was Reagan, and that was it had something to do. I don't remember what it was. It was a terrorist.
I thought he was supposed to have a reactor coming online or something, and we bombed the shit out of him.
Well, they definitely bombed him. I think Clinton did too. His was the formula factory.
A baby formula factory.
Yeah, it was a baby formula factory.
But they were doing something else there, supposedly.
Supposedly. Our intelligence agency is notorious for misidentifying targets.
Misidentify or intentionally misidentify?
I don't know. I don't know
So
if
as
it's
we get older,
intentional.
right, we see this as a young man. You're just like, we want to go fight for the cause or whatever. You think every kid just latches onto that when they're young and believes that, or do you think that has to do with upbringing?
It's upbringing. Yeah.
What they hear us say?
You definitely have a different.
Because we came from single families, and
You definitely have. Well, I mean, if you think about it, like when we were growing up, everything was kind of geared towards the military, right? Whether it was your G.I. Joe cartoons, what movies did you go see? Fucking Rambo fight in Afghanistan. You know, the whole, during that time period, it was us against the Russians. So everything was you were being groomed to go into the military. That stopped during the Iraq war. So it kind of stopped. They're not really grooming people for the military, and it shows in their recruiting numbers.
Yeah, you have no movies like that really at all now. Everything's a movie against a monster, or there's no funny movies. I mean, there's not any fucking funny movies that have been made in the last, decade at least.
Yeah, they almost can't make... Well, they could. It's one of those things that it's crazy when you think about it, is that Hollywood has gone so woke that they can't make the movies that made them important anyways. But they can. They just have to... People have to stop fucking kowtowing to that minute minority of a percentage point and keep...
There's a movie coming out called Homestead. Have you seen it?
I've seen the advertisements.
It's supposed to be in the theater, but it's going to be some fucking woke bullshit.
Maybe.
The dude prepares, he's got his shit all together, they bring in the security, and then his daughter's like, the monsters are at the gate, and she's like, we have to feed these people, we can't turn them away. And that's going to be the fucking, that's going to end up being the whole downfall of their whole fucking society.
I don't think it's going to be woke.
No?
Because the lead actor,
two of them, yeah,
he's very...
And they're giving away a whole fucking homestead, apparently.
Yeah, he's very...
Humvee and all kinds of shit with it.
He's very... I think he's a Christian, and he's, he won't do those kind of parts. That's why he always plays a bad guy. He always plays a bad guy in movies until recently. So it's interesting. Interesting. But I haven't seen... outside of the thing where it came on Facebook where they're like, sign up and you can win this homestead and all this shit.
Yeah, I've been seeing shit for it for probably, 2 years probably.
And I can't afford the taxes on that, so I'm not going to enter into it.
Wouldn't it be nice if when somebody gave something away, they also, we'll include all the taxes.
There was a paving company in Illinois.
It'll actually be yours.
There was a paving company in Illinois that the old man sold it, and he wanted to...
This for the employees? All the employees? Yeah.
All the employees. And so he wanted his employees, each one of his employees, to get $1 million.
Yep.
But he had to give them $1.5 million so they could pay the taxes. Crazy. Just crazy. Uncle Sugar is a ripoff. I hope Trump gets in there and...
That's by design. I mean, because you have such a small fraction of a percent of those elite people whose money has made so much money, it doesn't matter. And that's the whole inheritance tax thing. If you look at what's going on in the UK right now with farmers, it's said they have to sell off almost 60% to cover the inheritance tax on the remaining pieces of the farm. So there are no large farms; they don't exist. I was talking to Josh. I said,
people. The crazy thing is, people don't understand that, like when they're talking about taxes and things like that, what they truly don't understand is, you're going to see in the future. It's weird. Okay, I want you to think about this, because you lived through it too. In the 90s, so all through the 90s, everybody kept talking about starvation. People starving all over the world, whether it's in Africa or whatever. And they also talked about how there wouldn't be enough food, in 2000 whatever, there's not going to be enough food to feed all the people on the planet, and blah blah blah. They've always talked about that.
And they were also pushing during those times that we're heading into an ice age.
Yeah. But they're always talking about, they've always pushed this narrative of starvation, right? That starvation could be a possibility.
All the Ethiopian kids with the distended
And
stomachs.
what do you see all the Western countries doing?
Cutting off farming. Well, that's to control those Western people, right? It's to take those people. They need, the powers that be need you incapable of feeding yourself.
You have to create
and the population.
You have to create the circumstances to create the crisis.
Yes, they need you on some type of government system so they can hold that over you to get you to conform and vote or do whatever it is they want you to do in that manner. Whereas if you have 5-10 acres of land and you have several of your friends, like-minded, and you guys are producing food, you don't have to do any of that bullshit. You can get in there if there's enough of you and control the local community government body, and they can't. If you're hungry, they can't do that, right? And that's the whole thing. Like, they don't care if you guys fucking starve. The food will be there for you to begin with. I was telling Josh, I said, man, we go to restaurants over the last 4 or 5 years, the same ones we went to 4 or 5 years prior. The food has changed. And I'm like, what has happened? How can they not produce the same good ribeye or good filet or whatever it is. He said it's the point of origin of the meat. Around that same time, right before COVID, they don't have to brand USA products. It says product of the United States. That does not any longer mean that it is grown in the United States. He said that meat's coming from Brazil, it's coming from Argentina, different places. And because it is brought in and packaged in the United States, it is now a product of the United States. He said it's not the same meat. What you're eating now, even though it's the same restaurant, unless they have a point of origin and tell you what farm, like a lot of the higher end restaurants say this Benton's bacon is produced here in Tennessee or Kentucky and it's grown within. Like if it's a farm to fork, those mean that product is within 50 miles of, consumption of the product. And he's like, if you don't see that, you might as well just assume that meat, if it's coming from Cisco, U.S. Foods, any of those places, you don't have any clue where it's coming from.
Yeah, if it's coming from Cisco, then it's going to be the cheapest margins. Maybe not necessarily for the restaurant, but definitely for Cisco.
Yeah, and we still have this perception while we are eating healthier, it's still not, you have no idea what that shit was vaccinated with or what's in it.
True. I mean, you don't even know. Technically, I think about this all the time when I go. Not that I go to Burger King a lot, but when I go to Burger King and I order a Whopper, I always think, imagine you're a manager at Burger King, and you have to buy, because I guarantee it's a quota. You buy 500 hamburger patties, and then you buy 500 mystery patties.
Impossible burgers.
Impossible burgers. Now,
we've talked about this.
You don't get to send at the end of the month, you don't get to send shit back and be like, nobody wanted to buy this shit. Why wouldn't you just
pass it on as real meat?
Pass it on as real meat.
That has the allotted estrogen for a man in that Impossible Burgers. They said, I think it was 30 days or so. It's crazy the amount of estrogen that's in there.
There's nothing good for you in
soy,
in any of that.
Yeah. If my choice for fast food, if we're going to go to fast food, will be Burger King. And I went, I don't know, a month ago, 6 weeks ago. Dude, do you know it's $10 for a double Whopper with cheese?
Yeah.
$10.
Yeah.
And they're like, like for a meal. No. No, I haven't had soda. I haven't had soda in, I don't know, a decade at least. Like I was probably with you the last time I had a Dr. Pepper when we went to Flatiron Grill. It's just a hamburger, and it's fucking horrible. Like the lettuce that's on there, it's not like they started with a head of lettuce and chopped it up. It's yellow. It's literally just fucking the yellow pieces they threw away from some other shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Glenn and Kiri were here for an entire week, actually more than a week, and they rolled in. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna make dinner tomorrow night." I'm like, "Cool." So they do ribeyes. And I go, "Man, this is really good. I need you to show my guys how you cooked this ribeye. Whatever you did to this, I want to be able to duplicate it." He's like, "Well, it's just on your Weber grill. 2 minutes on one side, 2 minutes on the other side, and then let it rest for 10 minutes." I'm like, "All right, cool." And then days go by, and he's like, "Hey, I just bought a whole ribeye roll, the whole thing uncut. I got it for $9 a pound at Cash Saver." I'm like, "Cool." And he cooks it up, and it's not as good. And the next day, I'm like, "Man, the ribeye," he asked, "Hey, what'd you think?" The ribeye that they made the first time was so much better than the second time. And he said he did the exact same thing. And Kiri goes, "It's because we buy the meat we brought here, and the meat we use at home comes from an Amish farmer, and they cut all their own meat 15 minutes from the house." And there again, it's point of origin. The Amish aren't, who knows where that second set of meat came from.
Yeah, your point of origin. Yeah.
Yep. And what it's fed and how it's finished and just everything about it. But it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. I think
maybe that's going to end soon.
That we're trying to get back to
I think if people are aware of it enough,
because what did COVID teach everybody? COVID taught everybody the supply chain is weak.
And everybody will follow rules.
And some people will follow.
Do you know it's said right now that over 85% of the United States population has the first 2 vaccinations? That's I don't remember who said that. Official numbers out there. I question whether that's correct or not.
I mean, that might be true.
And what are they up to? Like the 10th boosters now? That
might be true. Well, did you saw that thing I sent you, right? The CDC updated their their website on COVID and basically said none of that shit worked.
Interesting, because there are still school municipalities requiring your kid.
Yeah.
They're putting it in with the influenza boosters now.
Mm-hmm.
So COVID, and you can't get one without the other.
Yeah.
But you have to have it to put your kids in public school.
Well, good news.
But then you
can
have
homeschool.
other states suing right now. You have states suing Moderna and New Johnson & Johnson or whatever over the vaccines.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 50-50 chance you're going to have a heart attack.
I think it was greater than that.
Mm-hmm. So, fuck it. You don't need it.
I know a couple people that got it.
I know, but, I mean, again, because they forced everybody in the military there at the end. But the crazy thing is, this is the crazy thing, okay? Never in my only one time in my Marine Corps career have I ever been able to refuse taking a shot. And that was because they required a waiver. They were like, hey, to take this Japanese encephalitis shot, you have to sign this waiver that says you're not going to sue the government if you get Japanese encephalitis. And I'm like, then I'm not getting the shot. And they're like, well, you have to. I go, not if I have to sign a waiver. If you're making me sign a waiver, then I don't have to get the shot. Because what you're trying to do is absolve yourself from whatever happens if I take this shot. And this was when I was with 1-9. There was a general rebellion aboard the ship to the point where they came on the PA. We were getting ready to go into Japan. They came on the PA and they're like, if you don't get the shot, you can't go ashore. And I'm like, I think 90% of the fucking battalion was like, okay, we're not going ashore. And so they scrapped it.
But they brought it back, right?
They scrapped it. And then on the next deployment...
Wasn't a choice.
Wasn't a choice. But again, that is the point. The point is liability. The only reason why everybody was able to get the COVID vaccine is because Pfizer and all those companies were immune to liability. And so they forced everybody to get that.
It's also said with the doses and the amounts that they gave out, they physically could not have produced it at their capacity that they were saying they were able to build it. So it's actually said, and I've heard it several times, that they actually had those ready to go before there ever was a pandemic rolled out for the math to work.
It's possible.
They're also sitting on a ton of it right now. That's why they're trying to push that shit out.
But the military, so again, you never get an option. So if I'm going to get if I have to get anthrax, plague, 1 and 2, and smallpox and all that shit, it's not an option. They just give it to you, right? And so when COVID first started happening and they were telling everybody to get the shots, DOD was not giving the shots out. They were like, nope, the force doesn't need it. We're not going to do it, blah, blah, blah. Well, that alone told me that you shouldn't get the shot because that's the target audience, right? And then, which is even more crazy, never once, and all the fucking shots I've ever gotten, never once did they say, you got to go out in town and get it and come back with your little sheet that says you got your shot.
Oh, so they don't want to be responsible for
so
fucking having
they sent motherfuckers out in town to CVS to get a COVID shot. So now, like, the reality is, it's not service related.
They're still doing that shit. I was in a store the other day. I don't know where I was. Walmart, some big store we were in, and the ding, the sound comes on. It's like, get your flu and COVID shots. Be vaccinated. Like you can just walk in and they're giving them away free and shit.
At least they're still saying get your flu and COVID shot,
as opposed to
come get your flu shot, right?
So they're warning people.
At least they're still letting you know that. I mean, eventually, it'll just be.
Come get your government ordered injections,
Yep.
so that you can shop tomorrow. Otherwise, we're turning off your bank account.
Yep.
We're going to kill all your social media. You'll take only the drugs prescribed to you by your lawyer and principals.
Oh, by the way, TikTok's dead?
So TikTok is being closed down. You think that's real?
Well, yeah, because it went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said they can do that. They can shut it down.
Based on?
based on the law that they created.
What keeps them from shutting down Twitter?
Twitter's an American-owned company.
Got it.
So TikTok there is a save. Like they keep saying,
Sell or have a American.
January January time frame. I don't know what the actual date is, but basically what they have to do is sell. So it's an American company. Now,
I've heard Musk kind of joke about buying it.
he'd be smart. That would actually be a smarter investment than X. I don't know. Maybe not. But you have to remember the reason why TikTok was specifically targeted was not because of a single thing that the Chinese government did through TikTok. So China shouldn't be able to own it because it's all the rhetoric about spying and all that shit. There's not a single case where they have shown that TikTok was used to subvert anything. Now, the only difference is when all the other platforms were bullied by the White House to do their bidding under the Biden administration, under Obama, they all did it. They allowed the White House to bully them into censoring those platforms.
And TikTok exists during Obama?
TikTok did not. TikTok did not censor the platform.
So
And
there's no backdoor built into it.
That is really what they're pissed off about, is the fact that they can't put pressure on an American corporation to do their bidding. That's really all it's about. It's not about fucking.
Yeah, they don't call it TikTok in China. It's called ByteDance.
Yeah.
That's the company, I guess, that owns it. I don't think it's actually, the app is not TikTok, but it's all educational. It's supposed to be very different than what we have here.
Yeah, they push.
But part of that also might be, if you took a young person in China and uploaded some stupid shit, somebody's probably knocking on your fucking door for it. It's probably not that. I mean, maybe they propagated stupid shit, but
the algorithm in China propagates. That's why you see all the videos of guys like making condominiums in the ground and bikes out of aluminum cans, because their algorithm pushes anything that's innovative. Our algorithm, the Chinese put on us, pushes anything that's stupid. So that in itself is a little bit of manipulation, but who cares? We already make cars and helicopters and boats. we can have a dumb. I mean, the reality is, I think that they look at it a little bit differently, as they're using it as an educational tool, where we're using it as a form of entertainment. So, but Trump was asked that question this week about TikTok, and he said, he was like, I've got a TikTok account. I use TikTok. We have more registered young people votes, and I'm sure that was based off of our TikTok account. But he also said something else will pop up. If they shut TikTok down, something else will pop up. Now, I saw that there's some investors that are trying to buy it. The issue is, and it's China. I hope Trump goes after China. You can't do business in China unless you give up your intellectual property. You can't do business in China unless you give up your intellectual property. The Chinese are saying they won't give up the intellectual property. That you can buy TikTok, that we can buy TikTok as a platform, but the intellectual property that runs TikTok, they won't sell it. So in that perspective, so when we're in that, I kind of feel like TikTok should stay with China, but in that perspective, I think kill it. I mean, I like using TikTok. I find all kinds of funny shit on TikTok, but if the Chinese are going to be like, you can't do any business in our country unless you give us the intellectual property, and we do the same thing to them, and they're like, nope, fuck you can't have it, kill it.
So what do you think will happen?
Some other platform will
pop up.
will pop up that will be doing similar shit, but not as
Wasn't
good.
that why Instagram started doing shorts and Facebook started?
Yeah.
What's that other thing that
Reels.
What's that other thing that Facebook has?
What is that noise?
It's this heater right here.
Oh, your toes cold?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Well, you got Reels.
There's
on
Reels.
Facebook.
There's something else that's on.
Stories?
Nope. In addition, I see it pop up in the short feed, and when I click on it, it wants me to load another damn app through Facebook. Zuckerberg tried to do it. It never really took. I can't remember what it's called. There's another thing there though.
I'm sure there's always going to be another thing. So
I can't.
You know, there's.
I can't even keep up with the ones we have. Like I have.
Yeah.
I just loaded a bunch of stuff from the party. I just posted them on Instagram, and I'm like, I'll post them as soon as I'm done with dinner. I'll post them up on YouTube, and I fucking never got back to it.
So yeah,
I probably need to hire a person to just shoot. Like Lewis would come up to me and go, "Hey, what's this?" And I'll be like, "Oh, that's the Whiz Bang 2000, and I invented that. I came up with that here, and here's why we built it, and this is what it does." Shorts like that, we need a piece of content on gear every day. And dude, I've been terrible about it. If you look at the Instagram page, there was no fucking. In the last year, there's probably a dozen gear.
Yeah, but that's why at your level, we trick ourselves.
But the gear post got a lot of interaction.
Yeah, but we trick ourselves. We trick ourselves because we watch all these platforms. We watch these platforms and we think, oh, that's just some dude out there doing this thing. And it's not. It's a fucking team of people, right? There's always more people. And you're at the point where if you say that there should be a gear short every day, that shouldn't be you. That should be somebody else. It's like, John, it's Tuesday. Hold this thing.
Right.
Beep, 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 beep,
Right.
And it goes up, and then you don't ever have
Right.
to fucking, right? That's my biggest problem right now is
Need a handler.
I need a handler.
Josh was always good with that. John, it's time to eat. Hey, John, it's time to go work out. Hey, John, it's time for breakfast. It's time for second breakfast. He kept that schedule for me. Josh, you're gonna have to come out of retirement, bro.
Yeah, he does need to come out of retirement. I don't know why he's trying to be all scared.
He's not. They're him and Gabby started a consulting company.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about that.
They've been doing restaurants and shit, turning restaurants around for these dudes. It's pretty cool. Were you in here when I interviewed Josh when we sat down?
No.
It wasn't long enough. We had to go do something else. But what do we got? 30 minutes, 45 minutes with Josh probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good. That'll go up.
That thing is so loud.
I know, but I bought all this spray foam, froth packs. And you're supposed to just pass it like this, just about that speed, right? And it expands out. And my guys were like, shh, 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 shh. So we had froth packs to do both buildings.
Right.
And that one over there got like 10 inches of foam, like all the foam. And only half of this building got done. We ran out of froth packs and we couldn't get any more. So it got set in place. And now it's low, and we haven't jacked it back up to do the foaming underneath it.
Gotcha.
So it's cold right here. Amanda said something the other day. She's like, my feet are freezing when we did it. I'm like, stop being a pussy. Like, and then I'm in here doing a live with Spirko and Nicole. I'm like, man, my feet are. Amanda, bring me that heater.
Put just put a skirt around it.
Yeah.
And a 60-watt light bulb.
Yeah. It just needs something.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, my feet were cold. I'm in here with fucking blankets and.
Get you a heated blanket for your feet.
I mean,
I need studio Ugg boots. I just need Ugg boots to stay in here.
You know what? Hey, let's get him a pair of those Crocs that have the
insulation.
Yeah, have the insulation in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he could just slip in his Crocs,
straight
come
up.
over, do the show, slip out of his Crocs, head back over,
Yeah,
and
I
do
don't
that
think
thing.
we're doing that one.
Get
We'll
some
get-
of those that you can microwave.
Yeah.
Microwave Crocs?
Well, I mean, like they make them like little inserts that have like rice and stuff in them. Yeah, it'd be good.
We should just get a little foot tub here.
Yeah,
They have those little warming foot tubs with the fish.
that would be nice.
The fish just eat all the dead.
You know what you could do? You could get. You should get 2 of those 1948 foot X-ray machines that they had out on all the shoe, and you could just put your feet in there and just zap them, X-ray them every now and then.
I think they're older than that. They used to have them in all the shoe stores.
Yeah.
We actually found some X-ray machines that were 100% functional. Like all the shit was still in them.
I saw a picture of a X-ray tech's hand and just flaked all the nails off and shit because it was
Shielding.
It was pre-shielding before they were like, ooh, X-rays are bad.
Yeah, they used to like show you your foot to see how it fit inside shoes.
Shoes, yeah.
Some
That's
of those
crazy.
stories are wild.
Yep. What else is exciting in your world?
Inside, just gear.
Did
man.
did you have fun at the party?
I did.
Did it work out?
Yeah.
The way you wanted it to?
Best one.
Yeah. I think, you know what I did?
A lot of people said that that's the first time they ever saw me and Amanda outside actually doing other shit.
Yeah. I would say, yeah. That's probably true. You did come out. But the thing I noticed from Little White is, I think, especially you need to bring Tyler back, and we need the drunk guy back, and then just have their only job as hype men for you.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I told the dude.
Always hype.
Little White has that guy. What's his name? Something Chaos or. I actually had a great conversation with that dude. That dude was very fucking.
He killed a whole pint of
moonshine. I saw him while they were up there.
Whew.
And he was still coherent.
Yeah.
Like I talked to him after that. Anarchy. That's Little White's hype man. I go, man, I need a hype man.
Yeah.
That's what I told Chris. I go, you got a hype man? He's like, no. I go, fuck that. You should be my hype man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. You
need a hype man.
Yeah. Yeah. No. It was awesome, man. There was like little micro environments all over the place, and people would kind of gravitate. And as it got colder and colder, I noticed, like, especially around those 3 fire barrels that he made, that Glenn put in. Those were fucking great. And all the IBC totes we could just crank up with the skid steer and set IBC totes, keep feeding those fires. And then we've got 3 flame tables that are in the greenhouses, those propane flame tables with some heaters. So I think we own all that. I think I purchased all of that.
Yeah, Carrie said that stuff was staying here.
So we have it for any events we want.
To include the tower.
The tower was mine. They gave it to me for my birthday.
Gotcha.
The poof tower.
Poof tower, yeah.
And then the one tower that's got the fire and the glass tube, I think that's ours also.
Yeah.
But they broke all that down, put everything away. I don't know what that looks like. I assume they're still assembled. But they took all of the raised beds and put them in the greenhouse.
Oh, nice.
So everything's in the greenhouse over winter. Once we water it, close the doors on it, kind of makes its own microenvironment. As it heats up through the day, those plants, the moisture evaporates, comes up, and then it actually hits the plastic up top and then rains back down. So we don't have to water very much during the winter. It stays inside that system. We did it 2019, and everything self-watered. And come spring, most of those plants were still alive. We were able to just roll them back out.
Cool.
A lot of firewood was processed. Lots of that shit was done. Glenn and Kiri reorganized like everything on the property, along with a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
Tim helped. Like the property looks amazing. She went through and I was always like, I need somebody to curate all my antiques. She went through and did all the antiques. Everything's organized and cleaned up and presentable. They went through the garage quite a bit. She's like, next time I come out here, I'm doing this work bay. And I just need, because she always comes to me and she's like, what do you want me to do with this? And I'll always have some answer. But the real answer is I just need to stay out of it and let them do it and just not stop them.
Right.
That's the real answer.
That's what it was always better if John left the shop.
Yeah.
When I was going to clean it.
Yeah. And Josh too.
Yeah. It's always better.
Yeah. Rummerfeld. Lamppost Collective coming out, doing still photos, man. All those fucking great pictures you're seeing pop up all over right now, that's all her. Like, she took all those, having people with cell phones. I did drop the ball. We should have had some hashtag that we promoted so that everybody would hashtag all those photos so that we could rip them if we wanted them for something. Brandel running camera. We probably need a couple more cameras next time. We probably need a couple dudes just running video, and then another photographer or two. Kiri idea with the VIP stuff on there, those photo booths, that was great. Everybody stood in front. I'm seeing tons of pictures with the branding in the background, the round logos. There was 2 round logos and then the big VIP red carpet. That was great. The food trucks were
Food trucks were awesome.
Holy shit, they were good.
Food trucks were awesome.
And those ladies from the Birria taco trucks, like, we want to come back. The DJ was awesome. He's like, man, I want to do anything you guys are doing. He drove in from Indiana, brought all his own shit. What did he drive in?
I don't know. Or was it a van?
I don't know. How those speakers were single sets, right, on dollies?
I think he had a van.
What do those things cost?
I have no clue.
Dude, they're as big as I was.
They were huge.
As soon as he turned the music on, dude, there was plenty of music for being outside. I was worried we'd be undergunned, but he had it.
Yeah,
man.
that made it nice.
We're Curie's already planning the second one. I said carnival theme.
Okay.
She's already reached out to a bunch of the different troops from Burning Man that do fire carnival. They've got fire tables and ping pong and all kinds of different shit. So there'll be a lot of way more fire present around the building.
In
June.
But
think about June. June's not the hottest.
No, it isn't the hottest.
It's hotter in September and October.
Yeah, it's true.
So, I mean...
It's true, but...
We won't have to burn up as much wood. Because nobody's going to want to stand around that fire very long.
No,
Probably should get another flamethrower or so.
Yeah.
Not even to run simultaneously, just so you don't have to reload that thing. What's it, 20 minutes to process that?
Yeah. Well, probably 10 minutes. 10 minutes to get it done.
I was surprised that the two brothers how'd he end up getting to be the first dude to shoot that thing?
Because the last time I had it out here for the SRF party, I told him he could shoot it, and then you were like, "Hey, Brandon wants to shoot that."
Oh,
so I'm like,
I didn't mean to dog that dude.
I'm like, "Hey, bro, you're gonna have to take a back seat," and he's like, "Oh, it's okay." And so that's why he got number one this time.
I didn't know that. If you're listening.
Yeah, that's why he got first pick this
So
time.
who else shot it? Isaac?
Isaac shot it. Isaac
and
the other brother shot it.
Speeding and both brothers or one brother?
And Bob
shot it. Yeah, so Bob... Davis said on the way back to the hotel, because dad had a little bit of moonshine.
Yeah.
On the way back to the hotel, he told his dad the next morning, he goes, you know you bought that flamethrower? He goes, no, I didn't. He goes, yeah, you bought it on the way to the hotel. You bought a flamethrower. What do you want to see next time? What will we, in addition or different?
More people.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, I think between Christmas and...
More people, and I was kind of a little pissed off, really, about Little White. Not Little White in general, but when he was going on, and you went out there, like I went inside, I'm like, "Hey, everybody, go outside," and people were kind of like, and I'm like, "It's John's birthday, not yours, motherfuckers. Go outside."
Well, it wasn't my birthday. I mean,
well, again,
we did it. It was Kiri's birthday. It was Sonny's birthday.
Still,
it was just the date that worked where everybody could be there that needed to be there. But like every other time, I've brought music in.
Yeah.
That I want to see.
That you want to see.
And nobody's there to see music. I think we're just going to not bring music in next time. That's what Kiri said too. Like there are times when we've had $20,000 worth of music in here.
Yeah.
And nobody's out watching it. Me and a few people. Whereas because we're not profitable on this, right? This cost a lot of money.
Yeah, of course.
She's like, had we not brought in the music, we wouldn't need the tent, we wouldn't need the DJ. This would have been profitable. And nobody really stood out there and watched.
Yeah, but could you I mean, I feel like you could do, I mean, there was people stayed and watched his whole set. But I feel like the tent.
Chris outperformed him.
Chris.
Lyric.
Oh yeah.
Put on a better show than Little White did.
I think it's like a concert. When we play and stuff, half of the venues we play at, there's 300 people there, but 275 are outside because they're all locals gathering around talking about what's going on through the week or hanging out. They could care less about us, but then 50 of them are in there like, oh, I'm here to see music. It's the same way anywhere.
I feel like you could do it, and then figure out not make it profitable, but make the tent usable. It didn't have to.
Yeah, we can still.
I mean, all day.
And that's what I said. I said we probably still want to have the tent. I mean, if it rains or whatever, you need to have. Yeah. Just put other shit under the tent.
Yeah, you could put, more vendors or more whatever.
We really should just buy that thing.
No.
Why?
No, you don't. No, John. No.
Why?
Because the last thing you need is a tent sitting around here.
Not set up. We just fucking set up when we need it set up.
This is what I'm talking about. No. Do you know what happens when you rent the tent?
The tent leaves here.
The tent shows up with some dudes with hammers who puts the whole fucking tent together, and then when the event's over, the tent disappears. If you buy that tent, it's going to sit somewhere on the property, first off, in one of these sheds or somewhere it's going to sit. And then when the venue comes, half the shit that is necessary won't be there. Or there'll be a damn goat living in it or some shit. No, rent the tent. You don't need to buy a tent. But it was good. I thought everything was fun.
Yeah. I think everybody had a good time.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Worked out. Pallets worked out.
The pallets worked out great.
Holy shit! The pallets went up quick.
Yeah,
fast, in a hurry.
Dude brought that shit in here on a Ford Ranger.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
The trailer's huge, and he had a little Ford Ranger.
I think pallets is the way of the future. The only thing I thought about this the other day, and you would know this because you've spent time doing this. How many? What did you think? What do you think there was? 100 pallets?
Oh, I know what was there.
What was it?
We bought 100,
Uh-huh.
$1 a piece, and then we stacked probably another 60 in there that we had just sitting around that
How
were
many
weathered.
So you know exactly, and this is why I say you probably know this too because you spent some time deconstructing pallets. How many nails did we just put on the ground?
Right.
That's the only problem with pallets.
There
I
is,
was thinking about that.
No, there's nails.
The fucking nails everywhere.
But there already was nails everywhere, and we don't. I mean,
no, I know. I was just thinking about that because we moved it over. Normally everything is kind of in the range fan, and so I was like, oh, I wonder how many nails we just put on the ground.
The ground's real soft there.
Yeah.
It'll go down in there pretty quick.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it too. I was like, oh, pallets, what a great idea. That burned so well, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
That
it's
fire's
just
hot
nails.
enough too. It might have burned up most of those nails.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't know.
Like when we would run a big bonfire,
Uh-huh.
we always had metal and shit in there, and there was never any remnants of any metal after the fact. So clearly, I mean, it was
As
burning.
long as you're driving just ATV stuff.
Yeah, I think it will be fine. And then the skid steer has tracks, which is awesome.
Yep.
All right, you ready to do Patreon questions?
Let's do Patreon.
All right, guys, that's the podcast for today.
Pulling the thread.
If you were at the party, awesome. Thanks for coming. We had a great time.
Good
if
time.
you missed it, well, you missed it. Look for the next one, June. Maybe.
Temperatures on average is around 80, so that's not bad.
That's not bad.
What?
Last year,
in
on
June?
the 20th of June,
I don't.
it was
Here's
80,
here's
but
the
then
thing.
It was 90.
Here's the thing, bro. I am from California, originally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give two shits about what the temperature is. What's the average humidity?
Now that's where you're gonna get screwed.
Yeah, I don't care. It can be 110, but if it's
At June and nighttime, 69, 70.
Well, we're talking about
good.
we're talking about a giant slip and slide.
Oh, count me in.
what?
We're gonna do a giant slip and slide
Let me know.
Where are you gonna slip and slide from?
down the hill.
The same hill we're doing the
Yep.
giant rubber balls,
The giant hamster balls.
hamster balls.
That's only going to take up an hour or so. That's in place of the hobby horse race.
I'm just saying that's a lot of.
Did you watch the hobby horse race?
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh my God!
You
Well,
missed
no. What do you mean? No, I was there. Yeah, I
Did you
watched
see it happen?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
Dude's doing barrel rolls. And,
Yeah.
Like we should start a parkour troop.
I was impressed.
I was impressed too. Some of the costumes they came up with, and then the
Yeah.
flashbangs.
I thought it would be the weirdest 1 minute done
Nope.
thing, but it turned out to be my favorite part of the whole thing. I was
Yeah.
like, this is insane.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and I think if we would have hyped it a little better, it could have been even more
I
off the
think
chain.
once the video is there, people are
Yeah.
gonna be like, they're idiots. I got to do this next time.
Yeah,
Hype the race or hype that
hype
it was
the race.
happening.
Hype the race and hype that it was happening. Like we should have went more. We should have leaned in harder on like the blow up, the blow up dinosaur. Like
Well, we
should've-
didn't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Number
just-
one, we didn't even know there was going to be a dinosaur there.
But
And we didn't even know if anyone could jump over
And
the stick.
we had no
I saw-
idea what these guys were going to come up, because everybody came up with their own thing. They made that event what it was.
I saw. I don't know why, but that same. I guess because the phones are reading my mind. But that same day, I saw a family that was doing. Their mom was sick or something, and they took her out. And the whole family went and got different air costumes, and they went out and played soccer in those things, and it was fucking hilarious watching them play.
Yeah.
In all the different.
Speaking of the
costumes.
phones talking and reading your mind, old gym lockers used to be like this wire racking, right? And they had these mesh drawers,
Yeah.
wire drawers that pulled out, and they each
Yeah.
had a lock. I just bought one of those for Amanda, and I think it has 60 of those tubs, right? I've seen the tubs for sale. Each of the drawers is usually about 45 to 50 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And we found a complete one with all the drawers. And I bought it, and I couldn't take it home. Took a picture of it that day. Sent a picture to Brandel. I think I sent a picture to Curie probably. Never made mention of it. As soon as I got in the truck, and I'm on Facebook, and I'm looking at Marketplace, 10 more targeted
10 more right
for
in the-
sale. Yep.
Like right down the street
Yep.
too. I bet.
And it's because Facebook
Yeah.
knew that photo was in
Yeah.
there. And they just cross-matched it to similar shit in Marketplace and fucking targeted it straight to us.
I mean, technology is amazing, but it's also a little creepy.
Yep, it's going to get you in trouble one day.
Get out of my head. Get out of my head, Zuckerberg.
Yep. What's legal today might not be in a few years. That's how they're catching all them dudes.
Get out of my head.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
I built this thing from the bottom, they tore it down, I